It sounds echoing.
Every time.
Does it?
You say it every time, and I always cut it out. But this time I'm going to leave it in.
Can we get some of those like pads you get for the wall?
Do you know, I've seen people use egg boxes.
Really?
Because of the shape of the underneath of the egg box, apparently, deflects the sound.
So you're suggesting that we put egg boxes all along the walls?
You know what we're going to have for lunch all this week now?
Eggs.
Egg! Let's say omelette, but yeah, eggs is correct.
Welcome to the Naked Gaming Podcast with me, Lee Milner.
Off you go. Do the podcast and me.
And you.
Well,
and Chris.
As the people keep calling me on the phone, Chris Milner.
No, I got Lee Barrow today.
I quite liked it in a way. None of them are correct.
Just mix them together and you get the correct thing.
Well, it is Milner Barrow.
Now, it's been really hot.
It's been too hot. It's very hot to game in such intense heat. It's very hard to, sit there and think, I'm going to shut myself, close all the curtains, and play Deathloop.
Well, you got told off, didn't you, by the neighbour the other day?
It was too hot, and I was gaming too aggressively.
No, I'm going to defend you here.
Good.
I'm going to defend you,
good,
right?
Lee Barrow.
Yeah, excuse me. So, this was the day, it was 40 degrees, people. 40 degrees.
Such is my commitment to the gaming podcast.
Right, you did a long shift.
Yeah.
You're normally quite quiet.
Yeah.
And you thought, it's a hot day today, so I'm going to sit in the living room.
Close all the curtains.
Close all the curtains, but open all the doors and the windows.
Yeah.
Because it's red hot.
Yeah.
Now, what game were you playing?
Mass Effect Andromeda, which I've completed.
What's the annoying thing that it keeps saying?
Launching probe.
Yeah, and the is quite aggressive, isn't it?
They said that the bass was shaking the ground.
So the neighbours decided that they didn't like the
launching probe.
Okay, fair enough. But it is the hottest day of the year, and poor old Chris can't sit inside the living room sweating his midriff off, right? So yeah. So I actually defended you on that day because I thought it's the only day that you open the flipping windows.
So I played it for an hour. I launched a hell of a lot of probes.
So many probes.
And then I decided that I'd do a halfway house and I'd put the headphones on and sweat to death a little bit because it makes you very hot wearing headphones.
That's very nice of you.
So they appreciate that.
They probably didn't.
Well, I'll tell you who else has been enjoying the heat. Alex Rhodes.
I'm currently sat on my sofa, in my pants, in the dark. I've turned the fan that I was using around to face my PlayStation so it doesn't overheat while I record this. That's dedication for you.
Have you been doing a bit of yoga?
I never would do yoga normally, but, the metaverse was calling, so I thought I had to go back into the metaverse and try out their yoga experience.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to yoga. We have our yoga session right now, so feel free to join in. We're doing ego pose right now.
She said hello to me, which is very scary, because I seem to be the only person here doing yoga in VR.
I wouldn't say you're the most flexible person.
No, especially not after that. And we've been playing a game that's all the rage at the moment, where you take on the role of a cat. Fussy, likes to be stroked and occasionally makes loud noises. Lee has also been playing the cat game, Stray. First off, here's Lee with the news.
Nintendo has issued a warning asking players not to play the Nintendo Switch in high temperatures. And if you do, it's likely to increase the internal temperature of the machine. Apparently, the limit is 35 degrees Celsius, so no Zelda for you during the heatwave. Sony has completed its $3.7 billion deal to acquire Bungie, the studio behind Destiny and the Halo series. PlayStation shared the news on Twitter saying, "Welcome to the PlayStation family, Bungie." The Oculus 2 headset, the Meta Quest 2 headset, just got more expensive, but it hasn't got any better than when it was first released. The company, which makes the Meta Quest 2, used to be called Facebook, but now it's called Meta. Anyway, they say the money will help us continue to invest for the long term. It remains to be seen if people who were on the fence about buying a VR headset are going to be convinced if they have to pay about 50 quid more to buy it.
That was the news with Lee Milner. I don't know why I sang that.
That's nice. Is that my little jingle from now on?
Da-na-na-na. There was also a picture of this PSVR 2 headset. Did you see that? The new
Yes.
VR.
Is this the one there with the cable hanging out?
Yeah. So I thought that was like the charger cable hanging out the back of the headset, but it turns out that the PSVR 2 has to be connected to the PlayStation 5 at all times.
Surely that comes with some restrictions.
Well,
because you've seen what I'm like with the Oculus.
Yeah, you need to not be tethered to anything. You're already starting to walk into the telly and the coffee table and the plants.
Plants. Maybe this is actually helpful. You might stop me.
Tether you like a child. You showed me this story and I didn't believe it, but and that's because it seems unbelievable. It's a new study. They do these every now and then into gaming. And they found that it doesn't matter how long you play for, you don't feel worse. So like you could game for, 6 hours in a row and your well-being isn't affected by that.
Yeah.
I always thought that if you gamed for like a really long time, like I'd say 6 hours is a hell of a long time in a day, that you started to become more reclusive, you started to not want to go outside, stuff like that.
Nope. According to this research, doesn't matter if you play for a minute or 10 hours.
39,000 gamers were surveyed.
I'd love to be one of those gamers.
What, just to play games for a survey?
Sorry, we'd like to pay you to play the Oculus for 10 hours today. Is that okay?
But you do it already.
Yeah, okay.
But they said that you would have to play for 10 hours more than usual. So if you already play for 2 hours, you'd have to play for 12 hours in order to notice a detrimental
So
effect.
what you're telling people right now...
I'm allowed to play the PlayStation all day. That's what I'm saying, according to this latest study. What I find odd is that there was a study in 2020 that said the opposite. So have people changed?
That's interesting. It could be the gamers. The gamers just aren't really as phased anymore by gaming.
You have friends who... it tends to be men more.
I think I have friends,
Well, yeah. Who like to relax by playing the PlayStation.
Yeah. That's their way of switching off.
Yeah.
So actually, having an extra hour, they might be more chilled.
I was just thinking that if you play for 12 hours, you don't really switch on, do you? You start the day, so you're switched off, and then you go to bed.
You can imagine it's like that. What's that? Microsoft when it goes...
What, at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So what, it's like starting up my laptop. It goes, oh. And I sit there and play the PlayStation all day, then... Da-na-na.
Yeah. That's it.
Goodbye. Let's have some reviews, shall we? This is a game about a cat. It doesn't sound like it is that promising, does it?
Did you actually typed Strat?
Well, no, because I like music so much. My computer auto-corrected the name of the game to Strat.
Instead of Stray.
Like the Strat.
This is a great game.
The Stratocaster.
Stratocaster. Stray, where to start, man? Where to start?
How would you describe... I mean, okay, you play as a cat, but how would you describe how the game feels to play?
It looks like a simulator to begin with, but it's much, much more.
You know, like Goat Simulator, where you played as a goat and you ran around the city and stuff. And like the animations weren't that great, but it was kind of... You were channeling an annoying goat, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like that, but crossed with a little bit of horror, like one of your other favourite games, Little Nightmares 2, or 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's a good description?
Yep. It's definitely got more than just a simulator experience because you've got tasks to do, you've got people to talk to, you've got different levels, different challenges. It's so much more than just a simulator. And you learn new tricks to do. And the cat...
You can scratch.
The cat is super cute.
You can meow by pressing circle.
Yep. Yeah.
But you said there's people, but they're not really human
Are they
people.
Zorgs? What are they called? Zorks?
So there's robots that are sort of human-shaped, and then there are Zerks, which are these evil blobs that try and kill you. It's very like post-apocalyptic.
It is a good kind of game to play, just to sit down, relax. It's not too much hard work, really.
5 hours to complete for me. I know you're kind of nearly there.
Yeah.
The best bit for me is that you start off as the cat and you play for quite a long time, and then you think, I've just about had enough of playing as a cat. And then they bring in this robot thing that becomes your little buddy.
Yeah.
B12.
Yeah.
And that really opens it up to another kind of level. You can start having conversations with people. You can start, nicking hats off people and all the missions. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very fun. The only bad thing is that when you run up the steps, the animation's not very good because all the other animation is exceptional. It's like for an independent studio, this is like a polished AAA game.
It makes you wonder what they're going to come up with next.
They have to release downloadable content where you can play the game as different coloured cats.
Or you become a rabbit. Could be Bailey.
Bailey, the bunny.
Yeah.
Would you pay for that downloadable content? So 5 hours to 8 hours if you want to get full completion. It's not that long, but then again, it's 25 quid. And I think for such a cool experience, I think it's well worth the play. You can get it on Steam, PS4 and PS5. And I'd say actually PS5 version is probably the very best of them. And it's out now.
So our next game is called Bright Memory Infinite.
Next up, all throughout the country, people are celebrating the new year with fireworks displays.
Shelia, sorry to disturb you while you're off.
Director Chen, what's the matter?
Just as the news says, our satellites have observed some abnormal weather. It's possible that it could escalate into an unimaginable catastrophe. The satellites have confirmed several hostiles nearby. Hide yourself in the rain and take them out. Remember, if you get spotted, it's all over.
This is a weird one because it came out a couple of years ago and it was made by a single person. Right?
Wow.
And it already had amazing graphics. It was a first-person shooter. It was like Call of Duty, but with really cool moves. And you can, whip people towards you and jump up and slash them and deflect bullets with a sword and all this really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone went, oh, this is amazing. Thanks so much. What are you going to do next? And this developer went, actually, I'm just going to go back and remaster the same game and put loads of extra stuff in. So now you've got a 2-hour version of Bright Memory. That's what the Infinite comes from. But it's not Infinite. It's about 2 hours worth of gameplay.
It is made by one guy.
Well, this is this is the argument that's going on. People are saying it's amazing and it's like an incredible tech demo, like the old Bulletstorm game. Look how amazing the shooting is. But the story is just nothing. There's nothing there. And it's 15 quid. So for 2 hours, I don't know, it's an intriguing one.
When you could play Stray for 5 hours and it looks beautiful and it's got actually a challenge in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just like, really, is it worth the money?
I'd say probably not. The old version is available on mobile, but this new updated Infinite version is out now with all the upgrades and stuff. 15 quid on all platforms. So if you want to see what everyone's talking about and you've got 15 quid, go for it. But otherwise...
What would you give it out of 10?
I mean, it's probably 4.
Oh, dear.
So it's not brilliant.
Now, one game that's had a little bit of a resurgence recently is called Hypercharge Unboxed. Did you like that? I'm hoping for like a deal where they
Will
get
you
me
whisper
to
at
do
people?
No, where they get me to do like the voiceovers. Coming soon.
That's worrying. I'd pay for it. So it's like Fortnite crossed with Toy Story.
What? How have I not heard of this?
It's an old game. For some reason, everyone saw a video of it and kind of went, oh, I really want to play that. And so everyone jumped back on the bandwagon. And it very much like this...
Bit like, what's the face?
Bright Memory Infinite.
Kate Bush.
Running up that hill, playing this game again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Kate Bush. It's like a resurgence.
It's like the game version of Kate Bush.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. That's a great analogy. So Hypercharge Unboxed, the problem with this game is that because it's had a resurgence, it was viral for a couple of days. So when I got my hands on it after about 3 days, you couldn't play online against anyone because they'd all moved on to something else. So I was there sitting on the lobby on the Nintendo Switch. And there's like me and one other person.
Awkward.
Waiting for 6 people to make the game. And we just
They're running
sat
out
there.
that game.
Yeah. So I never actually managed to play an online game despite waiting for a couple of hours. And that's
so
the whole
that's
point
it.
of
That's
it.
the end of it. How much did it cost you?
Well, I asked the developers for it, so very kindly they gave me a copy. But I certainly wouldn't have paid £15 for it.
15 quid?
No, it's another one.
So if you pay 15 quid now, who are you going to play with?
Well, you better get it on Steam, because on the Switch, ain't nobody playing it anymore.
Wow.
I know. It's fun to play the single player for about 10 minutes. So don't get it.
Now, last month, we heard what it was like to be in the metaverse. I enjoyed that.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was very good.
I played pool with a random lady.
Yeah.
And I stroked a virtual cat.
I mean,
As
why
you do.
not? Do you want to hear how Chris got on doing yoga in the metaverse? I mean, who wouldn't?
All right, we're entering the world of yoga, a world which I've never been a part of before. I suspect this is going to be very weird. Okay, there's an instructor I can hear already telling me things about my left leg and my right leg.
Then extend that right leg up.
So I've landed in the middle of a field where there are 3 trees and there's sort of huge purple mountains surrounding them, towering into the sky. Between the trees there are lights and there's a huge screen in front of me with an instructor on who's showing me poses that I can do. He's telling me to put my right arm up and cross my left arm over it. But I'm holding the controller, so how can I do that?
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to yoga. We have our yoga session right now, so feel free to join in. We're doing ego pose right now.
She said hello to me, which is very scary, because I seem to be the only person here doing yoga in VR. I'm the only person on the stage. This is the loneliest moment of my life. Exhale. Okay. Oh, we're going into Warrior 1 pose now. Hang on a sec. So foot goes forward, lean back the left leg. Yeah, okay.
Back straight.
Straighten the back.
Arms up.
Arms are going up here.
Exhale, arms down.
Oh, and they're going down again. Looks like I'm carrying a massive ball up and down. Oh, keep breathing, it's telling me. I'm not really enjoying this one, to be honest. I feel very uncomfortable in this yoga area. Maybe it's too exposing. I don't know. Maybe it's too intimate to be doing yoga online with other random people. I'm not sure.
Yoga in VR. Do you feel more flexible now, Chris?
I think that was possibly, and I've been in a lot of uncomfortable situations, and I don't mean physically, but like mentally, that was possibly the most uncomfortable experience of my life.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that. I can see the problem with the metaverse is that you need everybody to sign up for it to work. And when it's just me and another randomer doing yoga on a platform surrounded by purple mountains, it's just not quite there. And I don't know, with the headset getting more expensive now, with the Oculus 2, what's it called? Meta 2. Ugh,
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
exactly. They're becoming
The bloody
so confused.
now that it's going to be £50 to £100 more expensive,
You might as well just go down the road to the local community centre and do yoga with
on my own there.
Janet there, you know?
Yeah, it was worrying. So I don't know if I'd recommend it still, but I'm prepared to keep exploring.
Okay, I'll find something else for you to do then.
Thanks.
Stop kidding around. Snake?
I was at work the other day with Alex Rhodes, our reporter.
You two spend more time together than we do.
I was said to him quickly, should we go to the pub after this shift?
What are you on about after?
He was like, yeah. Lunch break. It was a long lunch break. But it's been hot, and Alex Hot Rod Rhodes returned.
It gets worse.
No, but wait, you'll see why it's Hot Rod in a second. Sorry in advance, everybody. Have a listen to this.
Hello, Chris and Lee. It's Alex here, back for another month. At the time of recording, this is the hottest day ever in the UK. I'm currently sat on my sofa, in my pants, in the dark. I've turned the fan that I was using around to face my PlayStation so it doesn't overheat while I record this. That's dedication for you. And in keeping with that hot theme, hot as in the temperature, not hot as in me sat on the sofa in my underpants, I've downloaded the demo of Hot Wheels Unleashed. This is the sort of demo on the PlayStation Plus store, the sort of new feature that lets you play 2 hours of a game and then help you make your mind up if you want to buy the full thing. You remember last time I did the WWE one? It was rubbish. There was no music. There was only one game mode. It was incredibly boring. It put me off the game completely, even though apparently it's quite good. Well, you can hear the first improvement already. Listen. That's the funky music of Hot Wheels Unleashed. Already, when I go in the main menu, all these different things are lit up. Multiplayer, basement mode, whatever that is. Hot Wheels City Rumble, which I'm going to go with, which I'm pretty sure is the story mode. Here we go. Right, okay, so I've got a challenge here now to be first, win the race basically on the skate park map. I'm going to choose my vehicle. Let's see what we've got. Ooh. So I sort of unboxed some to begin with, which makes me think there's going to be quite a lot of microtransactions in this game. The Cadillac Seville by Gucci, and yeah, it's got a Gucci license plate, Gucci wheels, all sorts. Let's go with that. Here we go, starting up. This is a game by Mattel. Hot Wheels obviously owned by Mattel. I thought they looked at Fortnite and thought, You know, they're using these stuff like Star Wars, all these tie-ins with Marvel and stuff like that. Mattel realised, actually, we own loads of IP ourselves and, like, rights to action figures and things like that. Let's see if we can cram them all into a racing game. Okay. I didn't realise Gucci was part of the Mattel universe, though. That one has taken me by surprise. Ooh, already you get the feedback through the controller, the haptic feedback. And we're off. There's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4... I think there's about 12 other people on the racetrack, which is a good number, because it makes you feel like, you know, you are actually racing, and it's got that frenetic kind of feeling. Oh, the penguin just cut in front of me from Batman. You see, I'm telling you, they'll have all sorts of IP tied in with this. The actual tracks themselves look really good. They're all sort of right at the back. They're mainly made up of sort of the orange sort of track that you get in Hot Wheels. Here we go. Okay, taking over. Oh, zooming right over the top. There's sort of opportunities for jumps and things like that. There aren't any weapons as far as I can tell. Certainly not in the couple of levels I've played. Let's go past here. Oh, shooting past into second. The challenge with every racing game really is either you got to be Forza or you got to be better than Mario Kart. Both are difficult challenges. Obviously, this is more similar to Mario Kart or your Crash Team Racing or anything like that. Diddy Kong Racing, if you really want to go retro. The graphics look good though. I tell you what, for a game that I thought maybe might be a sort of cheap cash-in, I was a bit surprised that if you go on the PlayStation Store, it's not free to play like Fortnite. I think it's like 40 quid or something. Obviously, these graphics don't come cheap. But yeah, I think this is a really sort of... they've got plans for this to be a sort of games as service thing where they just keep pumping out expansions and different things. Here we go, into first. There we go, crossing the line. This is on easy mode. Obviously, the challenge will go up on the higher the rankings, and of course, when you go into multiplayer. Oh, they do a nice sort of finish as well. The sort of photo finish really makes your car look like a little box car, a little Hot Wheels car. Crucially, it's a good demo. We talked about this last time on how the fact that, you know, a demo is supposed to show off the game, make you want to see more of it. The WWE one did the opposite. It put me off the game. It made me think, I've seen everything. It's dull. It's boring. There's not much to this. This maybe, you know, this is sort of opened up. Already I've got a selection of 5 or 6 cars to pick from. There's different tracks. There's different modes. It sort of intrigued me. It made me want to play a bit more. That's how you do a demo. You know, that's what demos are for. They're supposed to sell the main game, not make you think you've seen it all and done it all. Whether this beats the Mario Kart test, is it better than Mario Kart? On first glance, probably not, but very few things are. However, if you don't own a Nintendo console, if you have got a PlayStation 5, if you've got kids or young relatives who, you know Hot Wheels and things like that, are Hot Wheels obsessed, I think they will probably really like this. I think it will probably afford a decent challenge as well, especially on multiplayer mode. So yeah, on the hottest day of the year, you could do worse than Hot Wheels Unleashed.
I don't know how much more wrong this episode could be. I mean, we've already experienced you in Purple Mountains doing yoga with this absolute stranger petting stray cats. And now we've got Alex Hot Rod Rhodes
in his pants
playing Hot Wheels.
I mean, if you haven't subscribed...
Do you remember that time that Alex got in a bath?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. It was for this podcast, wasn't it? Why did we get Alex to get in the bath?
That was odd. We should do like a montage of Alex's best bits.
I keep meaning to, but there's so many.
I know.
You might as well just subscribe.
I'd like
because...
just a montage of what we've called him as well.
Yeah.
So many different things, bless him.
One day I will, when I can be bothered. It's not this day.
But thanks, Alex, as always, providing us with the best comical value for
the money, which is very, very little. Very little money.
A pint.
If you're doing well, if you get the full pint.
Still waiting for that.
There's a game which we're not going to play, but I've got to tell you about it. Jet Wash Simulator.
Well, can't we just get Alex to do it?
Jet Washing Simulator. What? No, but he can just jet wash our actual patio if he wants to.
I don't think he'd be up for that.
It's too hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Even
too hot.
now it's too hot. Even after the heat
Wow,
wave.
so people could be jet washing their actual gardens,
but
instead they're jet washing on the simulator.
The people who make Jet Washing Simulator said, oh, if the camera makes you feel sick by constantly looking left and right, don't worry, jet washing fans. We've come up with a mode where you don't have to swivel the camera, you can just swivel the hose itself. And I was like,
wow.
Is that like downloadable content these days?
For an extra £3, you can buy
yeah.
an extra hose.
But anyway, it's out there if you want, and you really want to not jet wash your own patio. They jet washed a barbecue in the game. I was like, not a good idea. Just saying. Anyway, it's available if you want. That's it. I mean, it's been a fun episode this time.
It's been a weird episode.
I've been gaming a hell of a lot more recently. Have you noticed?
Well, what's weird is that I was talking to someone the other day, and I said I game less during the hot weather.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
But because there's been some good games, I have
hard.
actually found myself in the evenings just kind of switching on and playing a bit of PS for an hour or two.
You're
And it hasn't affected my mood at all.
And you've been straying, haven't you?
I've been
recently?
straying. What have you been doing?
I've been Stray. I mean, I played Stray, and then I finally, because I played Deathloop when we reviewed it, and I thought this game is awesome. I'm finally going to sit down and, you know, when you give it like the full 40-hour treatment, I'm going to go all the way through because I finished all the Mass Effects. You'll be very pleased.
Yeah, thank God.
No more probe launching. The
neighbours will be happy.
They're finally like talking to us again.
Still got our eyes, still twitching.
But Deathloop, yeah, I tell you what, I mean, it's incredible. But when you're sort of 20 hours into the game, it's difficult, but it's very rewarding. It's like a very complicated version of Groundhog Day.
Talking of hard games, my friend at work, he's still trying to complete Skyrim.
Oh, because they remastered it not so long ago. Yeah.
I said it's really hard though.
It is hard.
Is it still hard?
It's still hard, but they've made it just that little bit better. Do you know what? That's one of my next games after Deathloop.
Yeah.
I'll report back.
Yes, please do.
But yeah, if you're struggling to stay cool in the heat, what would your advice be? Don't play computer games. I can't believe we're even saying that.
Well, hang on a minute, because the computer games can only run,
play up to 10 hours more
and they can only last up to 35 degrees. So make sure you get an aircon unit
for your Nintendo Switch.
For your Nintendo Switch, and point it directly at it, and then play to your heart's content.
I mean, if you've got like 300 quid.
If not, just play in your pants like Alex.
That's it. You can either get the new Oculus headset or you can get an air conditioning unit. That's the choice.
To cool down your Nintendo Switch.